Hello, good morning. Today we are working with this page here. It says decimals and fractions. So go ahead and grab that page and we will start with our table of contents. So then at the bottom on page 48, we are going to do relating fractions to decimals. Okay. Now on this page, I will do this one with you because it can be a little bit tricky if we don't do it correctly. So here we are going to cut along the dashed lines only. So this will stay the same. Do not cut here or here. Okay, so first cut along this border, and you will cut around the solid line, but make sure you include it. Don't just cut straight across. So it should kind of hang off like that. Then continue to cut your border across. Up and over. And finish off. So when you're done cutting out the border, your piece should look like this. Okay. Now here you see this tiny little dashed line. You're going to go ahead and cut that. So there's a little bit of a break. Next, you're going to fold on the solid lines. So you should have one fold on where it says decimals. Then you should have one fold where it says fractions. So if I were to lay my piece down here, I fold inside, I fold inside. So it should almost look like a little book in the front, and on the back we'll have the directions. Okay. So you're going to flip this over where you see that little directions, a little 4, and you're going to glue on the back of it. You'll flip it over, and you're going to paste it on the page. Now, because we made that little slit, you should be able to have them sit like this to where it kind of holds together, and then you can open it like a book. Okay? So you can go ahead and pause here if you would like to decorate the front of your fractions and your decimals. You can color it in. You can put some examples in for some fractions and some decimals. So go ahead and pause and do that. I'll be doing the same. And then when we come back, we will talk about what we'll put on the inside. All right, guys, I went ahead and decorated mine. Didn't do anything fancy, but you could have gotten as fancy as you'd like. And we'll go ahead and open this up. Okay. Now on the front part, I want you, and it's a little hard to see in this lighting, so hopefully you can kind of see where I'm writing, but on the little rounded part, go ahead and write fractions, and I'll underline mine if you'd like to do the same. And we're going to write a statement that you can come back to help jog your memory. So we're going to write comparing fractions requires you to compare like denominators, period. You must find the least common denominator, or LCD, of the fractions to compare them correctly. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go down here on the bottom on our little flat part. We will write decimals. Okay. And then we're going to write a statement again. So comparing decimals requires you to have the same number of digits behind the decimal point so you are comparing the same place value. Okay, so for example, if we were comparing 1.8 and 1.84, what we would need to do is add a 0 behind our 8 so that we are comparing the same number. Here we have 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, you always want the same number of digits. And when we do that, we could see if we have 1.80 or 1.84, this one is more. So we could say 1.8 is less than 1.84. Okay, but we have to have that 0 here to be able to make that distinction. Okay, now in the middle, we are going to write another statement. We're going to say, using a number line can help you when you are comparing both fractions and decimals. Okay. So let's do an example. So we're going to compare 5/8 and 0.6. Okay. So we'll go ahead and draw a number line. And over here, we'll do 0. And over here, we'll do 1.0. Now, the reason I chose these two numbers is because it is the closest whole numbers that include both of my fraction and decimal that I'm comparing with. I know that 0.6 is between 0 and 1. If I had 1.5, then I would do 1 and 2. Okay? You always want to find the two closest whole numbers that include both your fraction and your decimal. So, right in the middle, I will put 1/2 or 0.5. Okay? I also know that here would be 1/4 and here would be 3/4. Okay? Now, decimal form, 3/4 is the same as 0.75, and 1/4 is the same as 0.25. Alright. Now, if I were to split this in fifths, I would see that here is 2/5 and here is 3/5. 2/5 is the same as 0.4, 3/5 is the same as 0.6. So here I see my 0.6 And if 5/8, if I were to convert my 3/4 into eighths, I see that I multiply by 2. Okay, so 3/4, 0.75 is 6/8. I have 5/8, so I know that somewhere in here, right in here, is where my 5/8 would be. Okay, so from my number line, I'm able to say that 0 or that 5/8 equals 0.625. Okay, because I know it's between my 3/5 and my 3/4. So 5/8 is 0.062 or 0.625, and I'm comparing this with this. So here I'm able to see, if I add my zeros so they're equal place values, that this one has this extra 2, 5, and this one has just zeros. So therefore, I can say 6.25 is greater than 0.6, or I can say 5/8 is greater than 0.6. Okay, so this one was just a little bit of extra information for you going into 6th grade that will help you relate those fractions to your decimals. So again, here's a statement, and then this is your example. So you can go ahead and close that up, and you will be good to go. If you have any questions about this, you can always come to the 1 o'clock.